Welcome in, guys, to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video. This is your host, JustCMTexx, and I'm back, and we're getting ready to look at Wangfa, right? He is the new exclusive Mythic Market toon that has come into the game, and he packs quite a punch, man. So I just wanted to go ahead and put out my guide, some ideas of how I would, put him together as far as a starter guide and things of that nature. What that would entail, my thought process behind it, whether I would use him inside a team or as a leader, things of that nature. So I wanted to go ahead and get into that. Now, if you don't know where you can be able to get Wangfa from, it's a little video up here to my right where you can be able to see exactly how and where to be able to go get Wangfa in the market. But before we go ahead and get this kicked off, let's look at his kit before we get into some of the builds and everything. Now, what you will notice off the bat is that all teammates get 30% HP and get 100% bleed and burn resist, right? So right off the start, Wangfa is going to boost the health of his other teammates. And on top of that, he automatically negates Zachary and Ty when it comes to the first two turns of the burn meta. So it looks like he is cleaning shop there when it comes to the burn and bleed. So you won't be able to take that type of attack team in when you are facing Wangfa. Now, what you'll see here is his mythic abilities, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you these mythic abilities fully upgraded. So he has 40% precision, and what precision is going to do is enemy resistance are lower against this character, 40% lower against this character. So if somebody has 60% resistance, 40% of that is going to be lowered against that specific character, right? So you can kind of build him a little bit different, and you'll see that when it comes to his weapon and what I would use on him. Now, Reprimand, right? When a teammate dies, 40% chance to stun a single enemy for 2 turns. So this is going to be good, right? All of the Typhoon characters has some type of penalty when somebody dies. That is the theme of these Typhoon toons. So Wangfa go ahead and he continues that with the 40%. Now, we have at the start of each wave, all Typhoon Allegiance members get plus 40% of their max AP. Okay, this is important. You want to just think about this when it comes to the Typhoon characters. If you put them in a team together, they are going to be working wonders around a lot of stuff, man. So, and they're going to be rushing faster and things of that nature. So you have to be able to think about all of this when it comes to it, which makes him a good leader of the sorts. At the start of each wave, this character gets plus 100% defense for the first 2 turns. Now, it's interesting that he gets this plus 100% defense for the first 2 turns of combat, because what's going to happen is now you can be able to build him a little bit differently, right? You don't necessarily have to put a defensive set on him, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you what mods that I would put on him. But first, when it comes to his skills, Wangfa's skills here, I would max all of his skills if you're going to use him as a first or secondary leader on, leader on the defense, right? His skills need to be maxed because they work very well in his kit and he's very useful. So I would go ahead and I would max all of his skills. Now, next, on top of that, when we go ahead and look at his combat mods, these are the combat mods that I will start with him on a starter kit, right? Because my idea is I want him to have as much HP as possible, okay? I am going to build defense in other ways that's going to be able to help and bolster him as well. So now he's a little bit unique, okay? I have a attack mod on him. Why do I have an attack mod on him? It is simply because Wangfa can deal a little bit of extra damage because he has precision. He is going to bypassed some of these other you know, bonuses that they have, and he'll be able to attack them, right? So I think that if you build him a little bit more attackish a little bit, you know, while sustaining his defense, he can still hit like a truck on that defensive side, you know, going to get some of the weaker offensive tunes, especially the blue tunes, and he's going to be a little bit strong still on defense. So I did have the defense on him. We have to upgrade this. I'll get the supplies to be able to do that, and I went with AP drain, right? Because the name of the game is to get your defensive tunes to rush while the offensive tunes are not rushing as much, right? So how do you do that? You put a little bit of AP drain in there. Now, there's other things you can do. Okay, you could go with defense up while stunned, right? Disarmed up while you're disarmed, right? Defense up while you're disarmed. There's just different ways that you can go. Like I said, this is just a starter guide here. So this is what I have here for him, which is the AP drain. Now, I have defensive down resist. Why do I have defensive down resist? Because that's one of the weaknesses of the Wangfa leads. Okay, he's susceptible to defensive down, and because I want him to carry this tank monster a little bit while sustaining a lot of health, and then there's going to be heals and things of that nature on a team. This is what I would typically do for that. I will put the defensive down resist. Now, he's going to be susceptible to stun, taunt, other things of that nature. We get that, right? But the goal here is to work against the defensive down. Now, you can also put stun here. You can put taunt here as well. You can go ahead and double up with these two here as well too, you know, if you want to, and put defense in this slide if you don't want to go for attack. There is just a plethora of ways that you can be able to go with Wangfa, but this is what I would do. Right now, I also have this defense versus strong, because there are some strong tunes that slap, and you want him to be as strong as he possibly can on that defensive side. So this is what I would do and how I would build my Wangfa. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and look at the weapon in which I would personally use on Wangfa. And I already had this crafted for a while, but this is my sneaky link weapon. So we have plus 38% attack, plus 35% HP. We have the impenetrable defense, which is going to give a better chance to reduce that to 0. That's also going to play into the defensive side of his kit, and it's going to apply a 20% slow, which is going to play into the character's rushing. And on his kit, you have fast healing. Now, you don't necessarily have to go fast healing. What can you also do? Okay, you can do reduce crit damage by 50%. There's a couple of different ways that you can be able to go, but this is what I would put on him. And I would put certain teammates in his team in order for this to work out and have him as bulky and as strong and as healing as fast as possible. So this is the weapon that I would personally use on Wangfa. You know, are there counters? Yes, there is. There's counters to pretty much everything in the game, but when you situate him in the right team situation, you know, he can be stronger and become stronger, and you can have teammates around him working very well to help him out. Now, this is what I would do here for that. Now, that is the weapon that I would run on Wangfa. Okay, there is another weapon that I would run on him as well. So let's go ahead and look at this. This is kind of a sneaky type weapon. So I will have my party healing weapon in 1535 on him, because like I said, by him being a precision tune, he's gonna hit pretty hard as well, you know, and that 1535 is gonna be able to help out there in the clutch. The party healing, this is gonna be the 40% HP at the beginning of each wave. Okay, and he has HP and defense that's built into the Javier baton. Now, when I have this weapon on, there's a certain team that I would put him in. Okay, and that team we're going to go ahead and look at now. So with those two weapons, there's two specific teams that I would go ahead and put Wangfa in. So let's go ahead and look at a team build for Wangfa. So if I'm building a team for him and I want him to be my leader, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to select Wangfa here. All right, let's see if we get him, if he comes. Okay, so we have Wangfa here as the leader. Remember, everything's built around how his kit's going to work. So I will have Wangfa here. Also in that team, I would have Ezekiel. Okay, I would have Ezekiel next to Wangfa in that situation, hopefully for that pain split. And if Ezekiel go off, that buff is going to help him go up pretty high. And when we look at Ezekiel, he is a tank tune, so he can be able to take some damage as well too. So I would have Ezekiel here. Next on my team, I will go ahead and put some Typhoon characters with him. So with that being said, I will go ahead and put Mr. Lou. All right, and let's see if we could get Mr. Lou here on there. Always spell the name wrong. Mr. Lou. See if Mr. Lou comes up. So Mr. Lou will go into this team because it's a Typhoon team. Look at all the HP that Mr. Lou has already before we set any weapons and stuff like that in place. So I would do Mr. Lou. And now, if you have Laupo will be very good in here. I don't have Laupo, but I will put Laupo in this team. But to supplement that, if you do not have Laupo in here, you can also put Dayu, right? And Dayu will help out as well too. And we'll look at how all of these kits work out as well. So we got Wangfa, we got Mr. Lou, we got Ezekiel, we got Dayu on that defensive side. Now, what I would do here is, you're already being protected from the burn and bleed, okay? But you could use some heals, you can use some overshield, things of that nature. You can also kind of quirky work it out, put a taunt tune in here as well. You know, it just depends on the combinations that you would want to go. So what I would do here is, if I'm building this team, we already have Wangfa, Mr. Lou. We know that he's a rainbow leader on this squad. So I would go Steve here. You can go Skeleton Steve here, right? Now, you can also go Davy here as well. So if we went Davy just for a second, let's show you why. Okay. We would go Davy and put Davy in here. And what's going to happen is, when you have that party heal weapon, it's going to go ahead and tank out your defense in the very beginning, because Davy is going to give overshield to your defensive squad. So we can go ahead here. We can go and put the weapons into the hands. So we're going to do the 1535 and Ezekiel hands. We're going to go ahead and do that party heal. Party heal weapon, you can put that into his hands as well. We're going to do the attack weapon, put that in Ezekiel's hand. Even though he doesn't really need that, you can put that there. But let's go ahead and we're going to fix this up. I'm going to go with the attack weapon. We're going to go ahead and put the battalion there into his hand. Now, what you're going to see is this fast healing is going to go off, right? And it's going to be able to heal the squad because you have those two yellow tunes. That is an idea you can put in place there. Now, if I want Davy to go off first hand, right at the start of the battle, I can go ahead, put this 1535 there. Mr. Lou can keep her base weapon, but his base weapon. But if I didn't want to do the base weapon for Mr. Lou, I would go ahead and do defensive weapon here. Davy, as you know, mostly everybody's using it. The 110% heal, reduce crit. Okay, and then Dayu. Dayu already has a set weapon, and that weapon is good. It would just need to be upgraded. So I would go ahead, and that's what I would do there. So what's gonna happen is, when you get into a battle, let's go ahead and set this as my secondary defense. Okay, and then when I go to challenge myself, right, go ahead and duel. And just so you can kind of see how this is going to work, got the Mr. Lou defense there. When we load up, as you can see here, everybody here had 26k bonus HP, 26k bonus HP. So they got that on top of the 43k health that he has there. So this is going to build up. And as my debut is, you know, don't have mods or things of that nature on it right now, but just wanted to go show you how this team would kind of work in theory. Okay, so this is what you will have, and then you get your pain split coming in, you got your infection coming in turn 1, you got Dayu with the revive. If a person's not decapped, she has a possibility to revive. Davy has the heals and the revives as well, and then you have your defensive buffs coming in from your leader and from Ezekiel as well too. So this is kind of an idea that you could use and put together. Let me know down in the comments what you would do. You know, if you had Wangfa, how would you mix him up? How would you put his defensive team together and things of that nature, man? So yeah, this is my Wangfa guy, man. This is just how I would go about using them, what I would do, how I would put them together. You know, there's other combinations as well too. This is your boy JustCMTexx. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. Peace.